First of all, congratulations with Prophecy. I think it's about 2 years since the previous one. You seem to have like a really steady pace in keeping the albums coming. How is that happening? So always being in the creative mood to write something new.
Yeah, so I mean, we like to make songs. I love to make songs. I'm kind of addicted to that feeling of going from the idea and then hearing the final version. It's a really cool feeling. So, and then also, just to keep the band moving forward, we have a bit of a concept going on underneath the songs. So keeping the story going and just moving forward as a band. And also, this is our debut on Napalm. So we're very excited for that as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. I saw you had a graphic novel also made. Can you tell me a little bit about that shortly before we go deeper on the album?
Yes. Yeah, so the graphic novel is called Hologram and Slaves to Forever. It's based on our previous album, Hologram. And, when I make the songs, I kind of have the story in my head, but you can all tell so much through the lyrics. So I wanted to write the story that goes deeper into the songs. And then, it kind of mirrors a little bit of what's happening to our society and also some of my personal experiences, but it's all of it is set in this really larger than life sci-fi story. So there's a lot of layers that it goes beneath. Um, but also because I make a lot of art, I've made an art piece for every song on the album. So the graphic novel kind of takes you to the art and the story and the music. And also, as you're reading it, there are QR codes, so you can scan and it will take you to the music video that kind of relates to the story.
Oh, that sounds really amazing. I hear a lot more of that. Bands are doing this multimedia thing, so to bring
Mhm.
out the concept. Really nice. All right. So you've been also been touring with bands like Dragon Force and Amarante. And how does it work? Do you go straight to the studio after that to work on something new?
Yeah, well, we were a bit rushed to tell you the truth, because to finish this album, um, yeah, we came after the tour with Firewind. Then we had to finish this album and then go on tour in Europe with Symphony X. So we were a bit rushed, but for us, it's also exciting and it kind of makes you laser focused just to have that. I don't want to say pressure, but I don't know. For me, it keeps me inspired and just focused to get it done.
Yeah, I can imagine. So how do you go in the studio? Because I know some bands go are like super prepared, have everything ready, and that's recording and done. And some people are still like creating during the recording. How is that for you?
Well, it starts at my home studio. I do a lot on my keyboard, so I kind of have the song planned out. And then in for this album, Doug Wayand, he is our newest uh, band member. He played guitar and he contributed a lot of cool ideas on the guitar as well. So I usually make the song on the keyboard, and then the guitar players, Doug and Dave, they put some demo guitars, and then we would go into the recording studio and I would lay down the vocals. Then after we have that, we go back, home and kind of I don't know, evolve the song a bit more. And then we go back into the studio and start rebuilding it. Like our drummer Jamie puts the drums, then Kenny, Dave and Doug, they go back and they figure out all their guitar parts. There's so many layers. And then Kenny does his bass parts. And then I take all the files and I redo the keyboards because at this point the song is evolved. And then I send all the tracks to Jacob Hansen in Denmark and he puts his magic and we have a song.
Oh yeah, sounds amazing. If you look at this release, where do you think the fans will be most surprised about?
Well, it's the different thing with this album is um we have the eight-string guitar, which adds kind of a new element to our music. It almost increased the dimension of the landscape of the sound. And so that was really cool that our music evolved in that direction because we did not expect that to happen. Um, Also, the songs, I mean, it's definitely a continuation of the previous albums, but I feel like the songs are even more epic and they're more dynamic emotionally and musically. But this is the first time that on the album we have an acoustic song. So we have the song Hear Me, which is just me and the piano, and we've never had that before. So I think that's kind of a cool element to bring into the album where it really adds the dynamic. It kind of brings everything into stillness and then hits you back with like the power. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, sounds like about right. Let's look a little bit at a couple of the songs on the album, and I would like to start asking you about Death Note because I think it shows people right away what they can expect. What can you tell
Mhm.
me about this song?
Yeah, so Death Note, um, it's kind of a empowering anthem in a way, but also it's a song that showcases the battle within your mind if we were in the scenario where it's a possibility to merger with artificial intelligence, like who's really going to be in control in a way. But it's also like this album is the first time that I kind of take a stance of how I feel about where technology is heading, because I've been starting to talk about this since our album Universe in 2019. But every album, I presented these different ideas, but I always left it up to the listener to decide how they feel about it. And this was the first time where I really kind of take a stance for human spirit, for humanity, kind of paint the picture that consciousness makes up the fabric of the universe. That's why in the song I say we are the defiance. That I think the main danger with AI is if we rely too much or if we let it kind of diminish our own want and need to want to expand our minds, to keep wanting to create, because it's so easy with a press of a button to, do anything you want these days. So I feel like the main danger is not to let it diminish our own passion inside, and also present an idea, a scenario where we were to merger. It is very enticing to have this limitless thing in your head, but yeah, then you kind of question who's, what's really in control, who's really in control. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I was wondering about Prophecy Unbound. I've been watching the video, which is very active, very colorful. I like it.
Thank you.
It was, of course, now released as a single. Can you tell me a little bit about this one?
Mhm. Yeah, so that song, well, it's a title track and it kind of encompasses the themes of the album. But the main message is, like I mentioned before, where not to let technology and artificial intelligence diminish that spirit within us. In Prophecy, I kind of talk about that, the superpower that we have is that we can merge our heart and mind. So we humans have incredible intellect and mind, and I feel like it is limitless. um, but we also have an instinct and feeling, emotions, and we can create something out of nothing. AI creates something out of what's already there, at least for now. So I think Prophecy Unbound is just kind of an empowering anthem to remind us that we have, you know, all of that working for us. And but also, there's a lot of things happening in the verse. There's also a little bit of that um, shadow of AI following, and whether you want to interpret it as shadow of AI or our own doubt sometimes in our minds that can also inhibit our willingness or ability to expand our minds or our souls or spirits or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, with every song I want it to be empowering and inspiring for people.
Yeah, I think I can hear that back in the track clearly. For me, when I was listening to Set Life of a Rose, I heard a certain intensity in that. That's
Mhm.
a little bit different from the other songs, I think. How did you get along with that one?
Yeah, well, that song, it has a lot of layers. Like for me, some of it is also deeply personal, but also like in the verses, it kind of I want every song to be very visual. So when people are listening, they can imagine the world. So Sad Life of a Rose, on one side, it kind of paints a picture of um, how the world can become cold if we do rely on technology. It can be lonely, and like for example, before we would ask questions to our other humans, or reach out to go to the library and like pick out books, right, that are created by humans. um, I don't know, we had, I feel like, more interaction. And I feel like with technology, now we can ask computer any question. So it's also almost makes us a bit more isolating. So the song Sad Life of a Rose kind of paints that picture a little bit, but also presents the idea that, humans add warmth to the world, and that's kind of where the rose comes in. But the personal side comes from like myself, whatever I do, or any relationship I'm in, I really give it my all. It's almost like a sacrifice, a piece of myself to whatever I'm doing or to the other person. Um, and sometimes it's not. It can be painful if it's not. Um, I don't know. I don't want to say valued, but um, you know, people get hurt in relationships or through life. Um, but I think it's part of being a human. And I think all the experiences um, are a beautiful thing that I I value, and especially getting older. I feel like I really value every experience I have in this world.
Well, I think that's really nice that you can appreciate all that this comes along in life. Um, Something that a song that really stuck in mind to for me at least was Martyr, the monster. Can you tell me a little bit what lays in that track?
Yeah, so Martyr and also Rogue, we wrote that kind of a period that was a little bit difficult for us. We were transitioning labels, and there were some things that um, were kind of tough to get through. At some point, we were like, well, we either give up or we go full force ahead. And Rogue, that song, kind of came out of that. And then Martyr, also, like, I always kind of think about the idea, and throughout history, there's so many heroes, but those heroes to some other people might appear as villains, right? So what is that really makes a hero? What makes a villain? And as I grow, older and experience more, I learn more and more that you can never make everybody happy. You're always gonna, someone is not gonna be unhappy with your choices. So I think the key is to stay true to yourself and do what you believe is right. And even like, having a band, sometimes the decisions I have to make, I'm a hero to some of the band members and not to the others. So and then it applies to just anything in life. But also, sometimes um, things I have to do to kind of reach what I believe in um, makes me doubt, like, am I being a monster, turning into a monster almost, or am I doing right by everyone? Uh, and also my last name, Martyrosian, um, it translates to martyr. So it's kind of, and I found that out when I was making the song. I think I knew it before, but it kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. So there's a lot of layers to that song as well.
It's an amazing story. I like that. Um, if you're going to be on tour soon with Xandria and Delane, what can people expect from that?
Well, I hope people enjoy the Epic show. I think all of the bands, I feel like it's such a cool lineup. And when we were starting the band, Delane and Zandre, they were already very prominent in the scene. So for us, it's very cool to team up and share the stage. And all of us have new music out. So we're all promoting something new and exciting. And everybody in the bands are such cool people. So I'm just really looking forward to, sharing this night of music. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna enjoy. I had the pleasure to meeting all of them before, so very
Nice.
nice. I was wondering, how do you translate like these themes to the album that you already have very visual, like in videos, very intense there? How do you do that in live shows? How do you translate that to a live show?
Um, yeah, so I mean, eventually, of course, I would love to have like an epic stage show with all the crazy, stage pieces moving, and then maybe a grand piano ascending. But for now, we have LED screens that we use a lot of the visuals, so it does kind of add to the experience because I've always wanted this band to be multi-dimensional. Like, with the music, people can read into the graphic novel and the story and watch the music videos. So on stage, I wanted to come through, with some of the visual elements, the aesthetic of all of us, and, just the energy of the show. So, yeah, I mean, let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm curious. Of course, in the live show, you're basically for many people you will be the first time that they get to know you
Mhm.
like that. So I was wondering how that comes across like that. Uh, okay, I don't have any further questions. Do you have any message for our viewers?
Well, I want to thank you for having me. Thank you for the questions. And to all the listeners, I really appreciate the support. If you're new to the band, welcome to our world. And yeah, we're just really looking forward to the shows and hopefully be back in Europe very soon this year. So thank you again for having me.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, and yeah, enjoy the day, and hopefully we'll
Thank
see you on the roads.
you and enjoy the night.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.